Mary Jane Elmore was giddy as she looked down at the rusted-out floorboards of her old green Ford Pinto. She could see the road rushing by below. But she wasn't driving on just any road. She was making her way up Sand Hill Road in the heart of Silicon Valley, about to start a new life, intent on changing the world. A pretty young woman with brown hair and brown eyes, Mary Jane had graduated from Purdue University in 1976 with a degree in mathematics. She paid for her car by waitressing during college summers, wearing a small orange romper that prompted oversized tips. Her beat-up Pinto, which leaked radiator fluid and still had its original Firestone 500 tires, had taken her nearly 2,000 miles from Kansas City to Northern California, where she had landed a job at an 8-year-old technology company called Intel. Although Sand Hill Road was the center of the venture capital world, no bronze statue of a charging bull, no Gilded Age architecture, and no artificial canyons towered over by gleaming skyscrapers commemorated it. At that time, it was a stretch of rolling land laced with scrub brush, sprawling oak trees, big pink dahlias, and buildings that stretched long and low like an old Lincoln Continental. The mid-century modern structures, with outer skins of cedar, redwood, and masonry, featured numbers but no names. Unlike other centers of commerce, Sand Hill Road is intentionally inconspicuous. It consciously resists contemporary symbols of money and power. Instead, it is country club hush. To Mary Jane, it was a world away from the tall cornfields where she had skittered about as a child, playing hide and seek, moving 3 rows up and 4 rows over, strategic and mathematical in her decision-making even then. Her aptitude in math, not to mention a prescient feel for the markets, would make Mary Jane particularly well-suited for this new California frontier. And in the 1970s, that was exactly what Silicon Valley felt like, a frontier, steeped in the aggressive and hungry spirit of the gold rush, of adventurers and fortune-seekers risking everything for a glimmer of gold, aware that only a lucky few walked away winners. The original gold rush days of 1849 were dominated by mining companies and merchants hawking overpriced goods. It was ruled by men, Samuel Brennan, Levi Strauss, John Studebaker, Henry Wells, and William Fargo. Women, outnumbered and overmatched, were mostly reduced to entertainers, companions, wives, or housekeepers. Things were not that different in the more recent gold rush. The Valley was always a region dominated by men, from William Hewlett, Dave Packard, Bob Noyce, Gordon Moore, Andy Grove, Larry Ellison, Steve Jobs, and Steve Wozniak, to decades later, in the 21st century, Larry Page, Sergey Brin, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, Tim Cook, Travis Kalanick, and Mark Benioff. Mary Jane, fueled by peanut butter sandwiches packed in wax paper for the 2-day journey, was under no illusion that it would be easy to navigate the old boys' club of Sand Hill Road and Silicon Valley. Even today, decades after Mary Jane first arrived, 94% of investing partners at venture capital firms, the financial decision-makers shaping the future, are men, and more than 80% of venture firms have never had a woman investing partner. Less than 2% of venture dollars go to startups founded by women, less than 1% to women of color, and roughly 85% of the tech employees at top companies are men. Yet technology is pervasive, and it is changing our lives. When Mary Jane first drove up Sand Hill, women made up barely 40% of the overall American workforce. Less than a handful of those women were venture capital partners. But Mary Jane Elmore, the unflappable, fresh-faced girl next door, would go on to become one of the first women in history to make partner at a venture capital firm. Like the bold pink dahlias flourishing in one corner of Sand Hill Road, she and the other pioneering women venture capitalists, the Alpha Girls, would figure out a way to take root and thrive.